We're a plant-derived and better-for-you personal care business.
Have you had to convince consumers that it's better than regular and just like old school feminine products?
We don't need to convince consumers necessarily that this is something that they want, because a lot of people are seeking it, but it's about making sure that they know that these products are just as efficacious as the conventional products.
Are your products only available in the United States, or are you worldwide? Are you expanding into different markets?
In the United States, we're available in over 36,000 retail doors. We have a direct-to-consumer business at thehoneypot.co as well as Amazon.
The products you guys have, are you guys planning to create more, or are you like in a comfortable spot where you just want to expand?
Both. One of the things that's really cool about the Honey Pot is that we were the first brand to ever cross the feminine care aisle. And so we're constantly looking at how are the current SKUs performing, how's our portfolio looking, what are the opportunities for innovation.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is brought to you by the Global Talent Company, helping fast-growing teams hire exceptional remote talent from Argentina, South Africa, and beyond. We connect companies with world-class professionals who bring skill, reliability, and a global perspective to every role. And just for our listeners, we're offering an exclusive 10% discount on your first hire. All you need to do is visit globaltalent.co, click Start Hiring, and mention the podcast listener discount when we reach out. And today, with me here, I am speaking with Jazmyn Williams, Vice President of Brand at the Honey Pot Company, a company whose mission is to educate, support, and provide women around the world with the tools and resources that promote feminine health and wellness. So with that said, Jazmyn, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to chat with you.
We are as well. And Jazmyn, just so that we can get the audience a bit more in context, would you be able to give us some more info about your background, how you came to be Vice President of Brand at the Honey Pot Company, and then maybe what the Honey Pot Company does in your own words?
Of course. So I like to say that I didn't start out in marketing. I didn't even start out in business. My background is actually in teaching. So I was a 6th and 7th grade language arts teacher and worked for a nonprofit for 4 years. So I had a whole other career, and I guess you could say life, before marketing. And what allowed me to make this pivot was business school. So I went to business school in Atlanta and then worked for a company that I think most people know, Coca-Cola, and spent almost 6 years there leading brand marketing and multicultural marketing. Did a quick stint at what was then the Facebook company, now Meta, doing diversity recruitment marketing. So I often say I went from selling beverages to multicultural consumers to selling. Sorry, let me start that over. I went from selling beverages to multicultural consumers to careers to multicultural candidates. And so that was a really fun tech opportunity. And then I got a call from a former Coke colleague who said, hey, we're looking for someone to lead brand at the Honey Pot Company. And I was actually familiar with the products because I had bought some after having my second daughter. And was just looking to put better products in and around my body. And so I was familiar. And I guess you could say the rest is history. I've been here just over 3 years now, and it's been an amazing journey going from really big companies to a smaller scale up, but doing the most important work I think I've ever done in my career out after teaching, of course.
Wow, that's amazing. So but you've been around from teaching to Coca-Cola to Facebook, now Meta, and now in the Honey Pot Company. That really is a very diverse range of industries that you've worked in. And that is just crazy. And Jazmyn, in the time that you've been at the Honey Pot Company, or maybe let's take it a little farther back, what has been like your philosophy with branding, and has that evolved in the times and with the companies that you've moved on to?
Such a great question. I mean, I think that what I love about marketing and brand marketing specifically is you're really focused on the human truth and the human experience. And I did that in teaching. You know what? I was literally selling something that was free. I was like, would anyone like an education? Anyone. And you've got 60 students, and they have different needs and wants and different ways that they want to be communicated to and engaged. And so you take what you have, your product, your service, and you find a way to really connect it through their human truths and their human experiences, and find a way to make it relevant to them. And so that's been my you could say the beat of my drum throughout my career, and the red thread, as we often say, that connects everything.
Wow, that's amazing. And I love how you have this humanistic side due to the past you've had in teaching and everything like that. So I believe that is extrapolated into what you're doing now and it must show. And Jazmyn, any examples of at least a campaign or something you did at the beginning when you arrived at the Honey Pot Company that you think was a success and that has allowed you to stay there further?
Sure. So when I arrived at the Honey Pot Company, we had about a 3% household penetration. And that's pretty small when you think that half of the United States population can use a feminine care product. And it's got about 70% household penetration, the whole category. So we only had like 3% of the market. And the biggest opportunity was awareness and just letting people know that there's a better for you alternative that is plant derived and backed by herbs and science and truly something that is created with you in mind. And so I got an opportunity to sample our products in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is a pretty brand new stadium in Atlanta for about 6 months in 2023. And during that time, Beyonce's Renaissance World Tour came through for 3 stops, and Karol G's Mañana Será Bonito tour came through, as well as a host of other Atlanta United soccer games and Atlanta Falcons football games. And so putting our products in the vending machines, in the bathrooms there, and making them free and accessible was huge in terms of just awareness and really putting Honey Pot back into the minds and at the forefront of a lot of humans' thoughts.
Wow, that is so cool. Like Beyonce is huge just herself, but
Right.
Karol G is the whole Latin market that also
Oh,
has
yes.
her whole people that are following her. That's just crazy. And so it was this med vending machine for the honeypot company that was giving out free samples for anybody who wanted to try it out. They would just like fill out anything and then they receive the product.
Yes, it was through a QR code. And so taking really, I mean, vending the feminine product vending machines have been antiquated for so long. You typically need a quarter, who has a quarter, and then what comes out tends to be a product that you're not that excited about. So to be able to scan a QR code, select what you want, and get either a tampon or a sanitary pad and one of our wipes, one of our individual wipes, just for freshness,
Hmm.
for free in a state of the art facility, like it all just made a lot of sense and put our brand obviously in the realm with a lot of other power players.
I love that. It is so cool. And I do agree that it really does like elevate the brand's class and it gives it a different ring to how people must see it. And Jazmyn, another question I do have is when you got to the honeypot company, did you feel that in the terms of the products you guys sell, since they're like naturally based and everything like that, have you had to in some form convince consumers that it's better than what they could find at a pharmacy with regular and just like old school feminine products? Or has the consumer been very eager to find this type of a product that they can get?
And that's such a great question. And you previously asked me what a honeypot is. And for anyone who's not familiar, after I've talked about vending machines in women's bathrooms, so certainly many of your listeners understand. But we're a plant derived and better for you personal care business. We make a host of products from menstrual pads and tampons to feminine washes, wipes, itch and yeast products, suppositories, and we even have body cleanser, deodorant, and lotion. And so we can, really take care of you from the top to the bottom of your body. And what we've found over and over again is that the wellness trend has permeated every product and every place that you can be buying something. And so we don't need to convince consumers necessarily that this is something that they want, because a lot of people are seeking it, but it's
Okay.
about making sure that they know that these products are just as efficacious as the conventional products. So just because it is, better for you, made with 100% organic cotton, or has, an herbal blend in it that is coming from herbs that have been scientifically studied and used in Chinese traditional medicine or Mexican traditional medicine for thousands of years, it's also going to work. Because when you think about menstruation and periods, the most important thing is to feel protected and confident that you are going to be able to live your best life without having to worry about leakage or your day being interrupted. And so we are very, very focused on making sure our humans in our community know that not only is this product better for you, but it will serve your needs.
Of course, of course. No, and that is something. that is very important to be able to allow a woman to take that off her mind and just trust the product that it's going to work properly. Because I live it with my girlfriend once every month, and it's like, are we sure everything's working? We can't go into the pool. We can, not sure, but I get what you mean, and that is what the consumer needs to feel. I think it's safety and guarantee that the product is going to work well. So that is so nice that you're able to, besides that, provide a naturally derived product that really is sustainable and is helping the world be a better place. But Jazmyn, I'm also wondering in terms of internally then, the Honey Pot Company, do you guys just, are your products only available in the United States, or are you worldwide? Are you expanding into different markets? Would you be able to give us any insight in that regard?
Absolutely. So in the United States, we're available in over 36,000 retail doors, which we're very, very proud about. So kind of any place that you think you traditionally would buy a personal care product, we are there. We're also available on our own we have a direct to consumer business at thehoneypot.co as well as Amazon. And then we have several online distributors, one in particular, iHerb, that ships internationally. And so we find we ship to a lot of expats living in other countries. And so that is our route to get out of the United States right now. And so there's that opportunity for those who are interested in trying, or who, loved the honey pot living in the States and now they're abroad and want to make sure that they can continue to have the best products in their bathroom.
So cool. So cool that it is obtainable somewhere else besides the United States. That's nice. And in terms of the company size, Jazmyn, how big are you guys? How big is your team, and how are you managing yourselves nowadays?
Yeah, so this is probably the biggest transition and probably feels more like when I was teaching and working for a nonprofit, but we're just around to 70 employees. Yes, given the scale that we have, it is pretty impressive. And then my team itself is me and three others. I have three senior managers that
Wow.
work on my team. We have the marketing team is about 20 though, and so we've got a bunch of different functions that all work together in synergy. And so I think when you've got household penetration that you're chasing and share gains that you're looking to achieve, it's all about focus and having a plan. We've got a long range plan that is very focused, and we're evaluating everything that we could be doing through that lens to say, is this going to get us to the goals that we have and the growth ambitions that we have? And so it's all about ruthless prioritization, which I learned when I worked in tech, and never losing sight of our humans and the community that built us. If I can take a small little detour and just talk about how the Honey Pot came to be, our founder, Beatrice Dixon, was experiencing a very, very bad bout of bacterial vaginosis, which is an imbalance in the vagina that causes very unpleasant odor and discharge, and it can just be a awful thing to live with. And she was going to the doctor and getting antibiotics, and it kept coming back, and nothing was working. And
Wow.
one night she had what she calls a dream, but it felt really very real to her. Her maternal grandmother came to her and said, "I've been walking with you. I've been seeing how you've been struggling, and I'm here to help you. Here are the ingredients that you need. Repeat them after me," and repeat, repeat, repeat. And eventually her grandmother told her, "Wake up." She woke up, immediately wrote down those ingredients, and went and made what was our first product, is our feminine wash, or our vulva wash. And that helped with her imbalance that she was having, and her BV was fixed. She I won't want to say cured, but her bacterial vaginosis experienced no returns at all after that. And so she started by creating something for herself, and then shared it with her community to get feedback and see if it could help other people. And from there, a business was built. And so I have a job because she had a personal need and then scaled it. And so we never want to lose sight of the humans that we serve and the community that got us where we are today.
Oh my goodness, that is such a beautiful story. I had no idea that was like the origin of the brand, and that it came in a dream that her grandmother told her the ingredients. That just it's spiritual. That's crazy.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
goodness.
know. And that story is very powerful. So you have to lead with a human-centered mindset if that's how you came to be, right?
Of
And so I
course.
love that because it keeps us so grounded and so rooted. Yes, it's business. Yes, there's money to be made. There's distribution gains to get, but also we are serving humans in their most intimate and sacred parts of their body. I mean, the vagina and the female reproductive system is the portal to life. No one is coming into this world without that. And so the health and wellness of that reproductive system is so important.
No, and I totally agree with that. And also the fact that this is a bodily process for females that is always gonna be there. Like it's always gonna happen and it's something that will need to be taken care of now, yesterday, and tomorrow as well. So it's a beautiful way to serve the clients and the consumers and just women in general to provide a better option for them to take care of themselves. But I also, when I hear this story, I can't help but also see patterns in when I've talked to other creators of businesses, founders, CEOs, and the ideas they have for the products they create always come from a point of friction in their own lives that they then solve by themselves, thinking of what could work for them. And somebody is always going to have the same issue as you. And if you're able to scale that solution that you created, then usually something nice and something beautiful grows from that. So I just love how it's the spirituality of talking to her grandmother in a dream, but with the realness of how it came to be. And now what has become the honeypot, it's just crazy. Oh my goodness. It really is beautiful.
Wonderful connection and understanding. And I think those are some of the best businesses and products because they come from a place of genuine interest and passion.
Because when something is when in your day to day something isn't working, it's like I tell people every day, like random people, it's like if you're looking to create a business, look in your own life, what isn't working, try to fix something, and then build on that, and that should be a very good equation to get something good at least going.
Great advice. I don't know that I'll ever be an entrepreneur. I love working for one, but I see what it looks like and I'm like, whew, I don't know if that's my ministry. So
Oh, it is crazy. It is crazy. And thankfully, my entrepreneurship goes more via the artistic side because I'm into more making music and things like that. So I get my what's it called? My buzz out of that. But I totally agree with you. And oh my goodness. And Jazmyn, also super curious. Knowing the size of the company, which I expected to be bigger due to the endeavor that you guys are undertaking, which is crazy. What are you guys leveraging AI for, if you are in any way? Because I know it's a physical consumer product that needs to be created and tested, but are you leveraging AI in any curious or peculiar ways that we might not know about?
So we're just dipping our toe in here, but understand that it's important and it can enable and unlock a lot of synergies and streamline processes, which is important. And so automation is important to us. One way that we're using it is through consumer research and using certain AI platforms that allow us to gather insights faster and across different platforms and what people are talking about and serve that up versus
Okay.
fielding a study that might take 3 to 4 weeks because you've got to recruit and, screen and do all of that good stuff. So I've been really excited about how it'll allow us to get insights
Okay.
more quickly and more thoroughly. I've also found that it's a good way for us to take the feedback that we're getting from our humans and start to categorize it, pull it together so that someone's not sitting there reading every comment and finding a way to categorize it. But instead, we're just like, okay, we're getting all these inbound saying like, we want larger, pack sizes. Great. Let's catalog that. Let's, document it. Let's get a count of it, just allowing us to be faster and serve our humans in better ways.
Okay. No, I get that. And AI really does serve its purpose when you need it to go through so many comments or inbound emails or what you're mentioning. It really helps save time and allow a person to actually invest their energy into something that is, although this is still worthwhile, it can be done by AI, so they can do something else in the meantime that is so much better and it makes everything more efficient. So I get that. And Jazmyn, in terms of the products you guys have, I know you mentioned a few, but like in your product wallet, how big is it? Are you guys planning to create more or are you like in a comfortable spot where you just want to expand and take the products you have and make sure those reach every consumer possible?
Both. Yes. Yes, and so one of the things that's really cool about the Honey Pot is that we were the first brand to ever cross the feminine care aisle. And so I don't know how much time you've spent in what is considered the feminine care aisle, but when you walked down that aisle, on one side you would have all of your period care products, so your cups, your discs, your pads, your tampons, and those were made by a set of manufacturers or brands. And on the other side, you had your washes, your wipes, your creams, your sprays, and those were made by a different set of manufacturers or brands. And so we were the first brand to provide a portfolio that was across both of those categories so that you could get one brand that you trust with a similar proposition and promise across those products. And so we're constantly looking to offer more on both sides of the aisle, but being really smart about that and looking at SKU performance and understanding how is the market receiving this, what opportunities are there to either renovate an existing SKU or sunset it and bring something else in that meets the needs of the current, human needs.
Of
And
course.
so we're always looking to grow our core. We're most known for two products. One are our herbal pads, which are have 100% cotton cover, but then are infused with an herbal blend that is, think aromatherapy for the vagina and the uterus. And so it provides the reproductive system with herbs and the skin with herbs that are designed to provide a benefit. And so our cooling pads have a mint, aloe, and lavender blend that is formulated to ease period discomfort. And so we get a lot of amazing love letters from our humans saying, this has helped my cramp so much. My period isn't as uncomfortable. We also have a calming herbal blend that is for vulva irritation. So the skin, imagine if your skin was sitting on a pad for 8 hours throughout the day, could just start to get irritated. And so having an herbal blend that has ashwagandha, lemon balm, and lavender formulated to calm and soothe that skin. So all of our pads are, not all of our, we have a set of herbal pads that are infused with herbs for a specific function. We also have our cotton comfort pads, which do not have herbs in them, but still have that 100% cotton cover. We often find that young humans will be interested in that as they enter into our portfolio and then start to try out some of our herbal blends. So that's on the period care side. On the vaginal wellness side, we have washes and wipes that are formulated to maintain a healthy pH balance. And
Okay.
so the vagina should be in a certain pH range. And so our washes and wipes help with that and to help to neutralize and keep bacteria where it should be so that you can be comfortable and cozy. And so in that space, we're looking at other opportunities to address other need states that our humans send to us. And so we're constantly looking at how are the current SKUs performing? How's our portfolio looking? What are the opportunities for innovation? With Beatrice, our founder, being an innovator in and of herself, she's also our chief innovation officer. And so she's always
Okay.
with our VP of innovation in the lab to say, what more can we do? How can we push, get more science and more plants together to solve human needs?
Wow, I love how like you explained to me how the aisles work in the United States because I'm in Argentina, so aisles are not as organized as the ones you're portraying to me. But I love how you have both sides of the aisle covered. It's just amazing. And I really do understand that there's a lot of value when a customer falls in love with one of your products. Being able to see the brand and the logo in something else creates a higher fidelity because they really trust you guys already. And it's just like, I'm not going to choose this weird one, but I'll take the honey pot since this already worked with this other.
Exactly. You're getting it. Andres, you know this market. If we need someone in Argentina, I know who I'm calling.
Of course. Now I'm at your service. But also now you mentioned at one point that when like the consumers they start using your products, it raised another question in my head. And like, what is the main demographics you serve? I know it's females, but do you have a certain age range that are the people that buy most of your products, or are you being in the at the beginning of the journey for women when they start in with having all these conditions and things that start happening to them? Is the honeypot always there?
So we say that we serve the life cycle of a vagina, every age and every stage. And so really you think about it from first period all the way through menopause. And so what our core, you could say our core consumer follows our founder's kind of age demographic in that, when she was creating, she was bringing humans along who were very much in her age. So we've got a really strong demographic within like the elder millennials, myself
Okay.
included, and the millennials, but also Gen Z. We're a huge favorite with Gen Z, and we're starting
Wow.
to recruit Gen Alpha as we get first period occurrences and hoping that they choose the honeypot. And so we serve every age and stage and every instance that happens. Not everything is considered a condition. It could just be like you start becoming sexually active and all of a sudden that introduces new things into your vaginal microbiome that can throw off pH. And so being able to have education about what is happening to your body, the science of your reproductive system, as well as the vaginal microbiome, to understand why things might be off and what you can do to get them back to a healthy, balanced state.
Of course. Of course. Now, I totally get that. And that is so cool. And having Gen Z like you guys is just great because they can be stingy sometimes. And it's a hard demographic to gain their trust and their fidelity. So that has you set for a while.
Well, yes, but we know we have to be real, right? We can't just say it, we've got to live it. And that's one of the best things is showing up on their college campuses or on their feed from their friends who are like, "Oh, I just got my honey pot, or I love honey pot." So we're a very digital first brand.
Okay.
That's how we came to market. And so digital is very important to us. And most people find out about honey pot through social media.
Amazing. And that really, it just stems and leads into my other question, which is, Jazmyn, what digital channels are working best for you? Is there a certain social media platform that you feel is the one that generates most conversions or brings most clients, or is everything pretty standardized and everything's working?
Oh, I mean, everything works in different ways, right? So we found that our D2C is not that's not where the majority of our sales are coming from. We're traditionally a brick and mortar, but what people will do is go to our website and learn and spend some time understanding, okay, what do you mean herbal paths? Exactly what am I getting myself into? And then they might walk into their local store to purchase us. And so that is a really important channel for us for discovery and, to build that consideration and that trust. Social media, both TikTok and Instagram have been very, very helpful in allowing us to just like drive awareness. You've got people who are passionate, who love the honey pot, who will post about it, or influencers who will create really fun and cool content that gets someone honestly just to trigger and say, I've never thought about switching the product that my mom used and my big sister used and now I use. Maybe I should, because this video got me to think a little bit differently. And so that's really important from like an awareness and a consideration piece as well. And then we also invest heavily in all of the paid media that is really focused on driving conversion. So, display ads and sponsored ads, so that we just remain top of mind, so that we know that it takes 7 to 10 touch points for someone to purchase a brand. And so it can't just be you see it once on social media and you're like, I'm going to go buy that. And so it's a little bit of everything. Oh, I'm curious. Let me go to their website. Okay. Now I'm getting served ads. Okay. This is a different ad. This is making me think differently. All right. You know what? I'm going to give it a try.
Of course. And you just said something that me as a dude, I had never considered, but it's so true that it's like these brands have a legacy within families because the mom teaches her daughter how to take care of herself with these things that happen. And it's like, yeah, no, just use this brand. And it's just something that's passed down as a mother's teaching to her daughter, but then they never actually reconsider, wait, should I go on to use a natural one? Maybe then the daughter puts her mother on the honeypot company's
That
product.
happens. Yes, that happens all the time, Andres. We had a 17-year. I met a mom, and I'm like, oh, how did you learn about the honey pot? She said, my 17-year-old daughter was like, Mom, this isn't it. You got to switch it. And so that's the power and the beauty of Gen Z, that the younger generations are so empowered and they want to care for their family too, and say, hey, I learned about this. I'm not going to shame you, Mom. I'm gonna put you on. We're gonna do this together.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. But I just see it so clearly. I'm like, duh, it needs to happen. Like,
Yeah, and you know what's interesting, Andres? Back when I say about some of the career moves that I made, when I think about what I used to do at Coke and Meta and what I do now, I live in Atlanta. There's not a day that goes by without seeing Coca-Cola. You'll see a Coca-Cola truck, someone's wearing a shirt, someone's holding the can. Obviously, living in Atlanta, that makes a difference because that's where where it's headquartered. But
mhm.
still, Coca-Cola is very recognized. Facebook, Meta, most people know one of those platforms, apps, or using WhatsApp, whatever. The products that I am now responsible for driving awareness and consideration and purchase of typically live in very dark places. And I don't mean dark and bad. I mean physically under the bathroom counter, in the zip pocket
Okay.
of your purse. So you could go a whole day and not see honey pot, but someone could be using it, carrying it, having it. And so my job is to bring those out more to the light and make sure that people are aware, that we don't feel that there is a stigma around these products. Not saying that someone needs to walk around with the tampon in their hand, but also that we take away the shame of that, because that is also, I know friend groups, close friend groups, who don't know which products they're using and are like, girl, you're not using the cooling pads and your cramps are hurting. Girl, try this. So it's that challenge that I actually love, because it's a little bit harder to market something that is not uh widely broadcasted on a daily basis.
And that is something that is seen, and that's organic marketing. But you're so right when you point out the fact that these products always remain a bit more low key in a person's life and in their day to day, so they're not really showing it off. But it is beautiful that you're able to ignite and help start these conversations in between people that know each other, so that there's not that much taboo into, oh, I'm in my days right now, and you don't want to talk about the tampons or the pads you're using. But it really does open up, and I believe the Honeypot Company brings a vibe that it's something that people want to talk about, because it's just so cool. And when I hear you talk about it as well, it's like there is no shame or no weirdness in this topic. It's just something natural.
And how can we expect our young girls and young women to be empowered to take care of themselves and treat themselves with the most care if a part of their natural being is being shamed, and stigmatized? And so it's very important. I have two daughters. They're 7 and 5. That I think about what kind of world I want them to grow up in, what I want their friends to grow up in, and how I want them to be able to help each other and share. If you're having a challenge with a certain, health issue, whether it's reproductive related or not, you should be able to find a safe place to talk about it, and someone might be able to help point you in the right direction or introduce you to a product that can change your life.
Of course, of course. No, and that's the way that most people learn, rather obviously by reading, by investigating, but word of mouth, and from somebody of confidence that you trust, that they recommend something to you in those moments where you just don't know what to do. That's when it has the most value.
It's one of our top three. It's one of our top 3 ways that people come to social media. Word of mouth, and so it's
Of course,
really
I can only
important.
imagine, but it's just so true when you mentioned that it's something that remains a bit more in the hidden side of people's lives, because they don't mention it that much. So it usually comes in that fashion. And Jazmyn, I'm noticing that we're almost at time here with the show,
Oh
but
my
before
goodness.
I know time flew by.
Time
But
flies when you're talking about periods and pads.
But, but before I do let you go, I did want to give you the space to just reiterate and let anybody who's listening here know, if it's a father of his daughters, or if it's a daughter, if it's a mother, how can they go about learning about your products and finding them in the United States or internationally?
Oh, thank you so much for this opportunity to do a little plug. So if you are anyone can learn about us from thehoneypot.co. And if you're interested in purchasing products, you can do so in the United States at Target, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Sprouts, Kroger, grocery stores. I mean, almost every place that you can purchase a personal care product. We also are available on Amazon. And if you are international, iHerb is a great distributor for us to reach our humans in outside of the US. So very, very excited for you to give our products a try. Send us some feedback. We will look at the comments. Even if AI pulls them together, we will look at the themes and make sure that we are always operating in the best interest of our community.
Amazing. So you heard it here first, thehoneypot.co if you want to find out. And if not, just go to your closest retailer that you'll probably find the Honeypot Co. products there. So with that said, Jazmyn, thank you so much for coming on the show today, for providing your insights, for letting us know about what the Honeypot Company does, and for telling us all of your background. It has been super interesting. So very appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Andres. And I just have to give you a little plug. You've been an amazing host. I think a lot of people assume that a human who does not have a vagina cannot engage in this conversation. And you have proved that anybody can, and we should all be focused on women's health.
Oh, I appreciate that, Jazmyn. Thank you so much. I must say, I had a blast talking about this. I was not sure where the conversation was going to go, but I really clicked with it, because even though I'm not a woman, I have a lot of women in my life that I care for. So I'm just going to recommend the Honeypot Company to them now, and they'll say like, whoa, where did you learn this?
There we go. Thank you, Andres.
And with that said, thank you. And to anybody who's here listening with us, we really appreciate you coming on the show, for coming back every time to listen to the different personalities that we bring on and the different industries that we're talking to. So I hope you have a good one.